My takeaway from your book was that there's no way to get around. If you want to be a successful company, you have to be a great company. And there's no way to get around that anymore. So the lesson is be a great company and make sure your customers know about it. Did I read it correctly?
Yeah, I think you read it correctly. I would say that make sure your customers are part of your greatness, and make sure not only your customers, but also your suppliers, your employees, your shareholders, all your stakeholders, your neighbors, the earth, that they're all a part of the success, and a success rooted in knowing what you're about, having a reason to get out of bed in the morning beyond just like profitability, and behaving well, having good values, having a point of view, standing for something beyond share price.
A number of the companies you looked at are makers of foods that aren't healthy for you. And a couple of them you single out as hitting themselves in the head with this problem, but then a couple of them you have a lot of praise for. Krispy Kreme and Chik-Fil-A, you have a lot of praise for these companies doing it right. What's the distinction? Why is a Krispy Kreme able to sell you food that's bad for you and be a great company while Pepsi is hung up on that problem?
You know, I don't think there's anybody who would argue that there's anything wrong with an occasional Big Mac or an occasional Coca-Cola or an occasional Krispy Kreme donut. There is something wrong with being disingenuous with your audience, with saying you're doing one thing and in fact doing another, with doing everything you possibly can to increase per capita consumption of your junk, while simultaneously saying we care deeply about childhood obesity. It's the kind of corporate window dressing that this book is pretty disgusted with it. Krispy Kreme, let's talk about that one for example. They sell donuts, right? Now to my way of thinking, a donut is a cardiovascular time bomb, but it's not a bullet, right? So if you have one occasionally, indulge yourself in a treat, that's great. And what Krispy Kreme is all about is making every single thing that they do lead toward their brand purpose, which is something like enhancing everybody's life through the joy that is Krispy Kreme. It's so fantastic because it kind of sounds like if you took out the word Krispy Kreme and substituted Jesus Christ, it would still scan.
Yeah.
And these are very kind of biblical people. It's a Christian-based company, and their values are very parallel to sort of New Testament ideas. So it's not a coincidence. It's not a mistake that they view things that way. But from the loading dock to the C-suite and everywhere in between, they as a company are focused to bringing individuals the joy of Krispy Kreme, and it informs every single thing they do. They know why they're there, and they don't try to, excuse the expression, sugarcoat it with other, sort of phony mission statements. They are just about that one sublime moment where you, McDonald's, by contrast, is in denial on a grand scale. Their role in obesity is a complex one, and it's not their fault per se that people's eating habits are so horrible, and that their calories are so inexpensive to consume, and therefore leading to overuse in it, and to becoming a staple in the diets, particularly of lower income people. I mean, it's not exactly their fault, but they haven't run away from those circumstances either. Au contraire, their managers are compensated for increasing per store sales, and by any means necessary. So when they start pulling out the happy talk, it's just hypocritical. It sounds wrong. It sounds inauthentic because they don't really mean it. They ran a Twitter campaign, and they asked people to send McDonald's stories. And they're so in the bunker of thinking that they controlled the media environment that it never occurred to them that it would be something besides, I met my wife in McDonald's, we both reached for the same large fries, and next thing you knew we were married. No, it wasn't that. It was I found a Band-Aid in my Big Mac. There was a giant puddle of urine on the floor and I slipped in it, that sort of thing. And they have so not come to grips what it means to be operating in a transparent world where they can't control both sides of the conversation, that they were kind of blindsided.
So you don't have to be a do-gooder company, but you do have to not be a hypocrite.
It really helps not to be a hypocrite. It really helps not to dump 500 tons of PCBs into the Hudson River. It really helps not to have slave labor. It really helps to have source reduction so that you're not wantonly wasting natural resources. It helps that you're not shutting down plants and leaving entire communities desperate in your wake. But more to that, it means just winning the trust and admiration for the way you do what you do. You have to have the goods. You have to have the goods and services. They have to be, on par. But beyond that, if you don't act like a mensch, there's a penalty. And if you do act like a mensch, there's a tremendous benefit. All the data show that if you act like a dick, it's going to have an effect on your share price, your sales, and your profitability. If you act like a mensch, you have a sustainable business where your cost of promotion will be lower, your sales will be higher, your stockholders are going to be really super happy.
Bob Garfield's next book, Be a Mensch, Not a Dick, will be coming out in 2015.
Thank you, Jeff.
All right, thank you.